guys, and welcome back. I am your host, Tennessee's daughter. Today I'm doing something a whole lot different than what we normally do on my channel. I have the privilege of interviewing my niece, who happens to be the owner of Baby K's Clothing here in Nashville, Tennessee. So without any further ado, I'm going to introduce you guys to my beautiful niece. Let's get right into it. First of all, say thank you, gratitude so much for showing up today to want to do this interview with me. A lot of people don't know this, but you are related to me. You are my what?
Niece.
My baby girl. And so I'm grateful that you chose to do this interview with me. And so today I just want to talk a little bit about your clothing brand. It is making waves in the city streets. You know, I've seen you even ship off items out of state, you know, so I'm so excited that you have chose to pursue something that you're really good at, and it's showing that you're good at it because you're getting feedback from outside of the state of Tennessee. So why don't you just tell the people, who are you and where are you from?
Well, my name is Jamia. I was born and raised in Nashville, East Nashville.
Nashville is known for music, but aside from the music, what else do you love about the city of Nashville?
Well, Nashville has a lot of nice scenery. We got a lot of nice graffiti walls. Good artists here, music artists coming up out of Nashville.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. One thing I love about Nashville is the melting pot, the diversity that Nashville has with the different, race, color, and creed people, and how it is that we're all trying to find a way to integrate our style and our flavor to kind of cross over. I think that's a good start for a lot of different people. I did create a list of things for you that I wanted to be sure we touch bases on. And so one of those things is, how did you come about branding your clothing line? How'd you come up with the name?
Okay, so the name is my old best friend. He passed away in 2018. The name is his name, but the reason that I use his name was because I always been into clothing. When I was in high school, I had to wear uniforms. I had to wear college shirts and stuff. So I used to customize my clothes. My granny had gave me a sewing machine, so I used to sew on some fabric onto my clothing. Making.
So that started early for you.
Yeah. So I always knew that I like making clothing. So I was like, I'm gonna start a clothing brand. And slang for black people is like a Draco. It's kind of like a Baby K. That's the nickname for it. It's Baby K. So I started with putting the Dracos on the shirt.
Okay.
I named it Baby K's Clothing, and it was the Dracos on the shirt, Baby K.
I remember that graphic too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So you curated your clothing brand in honor of your late best friend that transitioned.
Correct.
And so that, I think that in itself should be honored. You were to be so young. I mean, you're young. You're fresh, full of ideas and everything. I can't wait to see how far you actually go with this. But to be so young and yet so mature and thoughtful of wanting to extend your friend's legacy by never letting him perish, in the physical, and you found a way to insert him in everything that you do. It says a lot about the love that you had and have for him, even with him not being here, and I'm sure he's so very proud of you. And so I'd love to hear it. You don't see a lot of that amongst the younger crowd. Just wanted to make sure that everything about them is implemented in the things that they're continuing to create in the physical. So that's a beautiful thing. So on the days that you find yourself working the hardest and wanting to keep your brand imprinted in the minds of those that do support you, how do you find inspiration?
So, how I find inspiration in that, I watch a lot of TikToks, first off. So I learned a lot of things on TikToks, how to keep the brand in people's face from...
So you do a lot of research and development. Is that fair to say?
A lot of research, yes.
That's good. I think a lot of people think they can run off their own knowledge of something or whatever their ideas are, when the research really is the proof, that it works. It's like helping you create your own formula,
right.
And so that's good that you take time out to research other people's things and, get re-inspired so that you'll find new ways to keep people engaged with your clothing brand, because people change their minds like that out here these days, It's not uncommon for somebody to be interested one minute and then they move on to something else. So that's good that you do things and use tools to help you further, connecting with the people that you've already engaged with, as well as being able to get other people's attention.
The greatest challenge that I face it every day, is self-doubt.
Okay.
Yep, just keeping myself motivated and just...
Because that can be heavy for a lot of people. Especially being that I, too, have my avenues that I take in a creative world. And, I think that we're hard on ourselves than anybody will ever be. So it's kind of like when somebody's hard on you, it don't even hurt as bad as what you do to yourself, because you doubt yourself, and then you have to remind yourself. So the moment you doubt yourself, you turn it around right then and there.
I always come back around.
Yeah, and then you say for every one doubt, if you tell yourself 2 to maybe 3 positive things, you'll dispel that whole doubt that you had in the first place. You know what I mean? So it's safe to say it's very natural to have that self-doubt. But for every one doubt you have for yourself, try to find 2 or 3 reasons to stay on that journey to what it is that you're in pursuit of, It's a lot of everything. Nipsey Hustle said it best. He said he went through every emotion. Mm-hmm. Do you think Nipsey Hustle is a good, the marathon continues reference, when you think of, individuality and wanting to make sure you leave create your own legacy while you're here?
Yes.
He's very motivational, isn't he? Yeah, we definitely link on that. He says a lot of great things that I hope people, grasp the concept of and actually start living that way out loud, within yourself, and whatever's in your reach, we change the world by one good act at a time. That's what we do. So I'm glad that you shared that. You're not alone in that. As all of us, anybody that's creating something, you think about the way Google was even started. You ever seen those old images? Amazon was even started. Those old images. You know what I mean? Like these people really, a lot of people, and then let me just say this. A lot of people don't really know how to support you when you're coming from the ground up. Mm-hmm. A lot of people are so used to a person already making it. By the time they get to their ears, they get to their eyes, they've already made it. And so they never had to put in the groundwork to help these people get to where they are, And so it's one of those things where you're like, golly, man, even the people that know me best don't really support me. And you try not to take it personal, but some people just don't know how to support you. And I had to figure that out, like I said, just because of what I choose to pursue that isn't traditional, work, and you have to understand that everybody plays a certain part in your life, a certain position in your life. And just because it look like they don't support you doesn't necessarily mean that that's true, So if y'all got family out there that ain't showing up to your shows when you're doing your music, they ain't reposting your stuff you selling online, sometimes people just don't know how to support from that angle. But when you get on, they will help to magnify your name from the position they came to play. So try not to take it personal, okay? This is coming from a creator and a creator that is sitting right next to me. Pull yourself up and you'll be just fine.
I get a lot of inspiration in myself. Like whenever I need a break, I'll stop, go do a painting, or just.
So you just step away for a moment sometimes and just kind of collect your thoughts and find something else. Yeah, find something else to create. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people don't know that about you, that you do paintings. I have a specific portrait that you painted for me, which is my zodiac symbol, a lion, the Leo, on my wall. And I always try to let you know, you can skin a cat 1,000,000 times, and don't just use all your gifts. That's my biggest thing to you and everybody else in the family, because we tend to be some producers around here. We're always trying to make something or do something, and that's one thing I love about our family, in the way that we support each other as well. But how can people find some of this artwork that we're talking about?
You can find the artwork on my Instagram page.
Okay. And guys, I will tag in all her information, contact information, so that you guys can get in touch with her, and possibly even, get your own painting or order some clothing from her. But she's doing big things, and that's the reason why we're sitting here today. Okay. And this is not a joke. She is my family, but when I tell you she's very creative, she is. And there's a reason why myself, my sister, and my brother-in-law pump her up. That's who Reese is. So stepfather. Yeah. So another question that I have is, has anyone ever emailed you a personal message or commented anything on one of your social media sites that talks about what your clothing brand may have done for them, or how excited they were to receive it, or have they complimented the quality of it? Because you got some quality goods, you know, and so I do want to say that out loud, that your clothing is of quality material. You should be proud of that.
Yes, I do actually get a lot of compliments on it from... Actually, I just recently got one from Massachusetts. He chose to reach out to me, let me know that my quality is amazing.
Wow.
He supports me. I done had kids, a lot of kids, like high schoolers, they reach out to me, tell me that they look up to me.
Oh,
There's
man.
people in Nashville that got clothing brands tell me they look up to my brand.
That's awesome. You know, I think not only is it important for all of us to go out and create something so magnificent that it draws the attention of others, but to be able to celebrate one another, to say, you know, to another creator, you know, how well of a job you're doing and how you're bringing them inspiration, you know, with no conditions attached to it, but just genuinely wanting to make sure you know that what you're doing is awesome. Your clothing is of quality goods, you know, and that's very important, especially with the market being that the way that it is, you know. And if people are picking and choosing how they want to spend their money, they want to make sure they're spending their money on something that is, you know,
nice quality.
Yeah, nice quality. Absolutely. So that's awesome. Shout out to whoever that is in Massachusetts.
Yeah, shout out to you.
Interview.
Yeah, I actually had a few people reach out to me about telling me how they look up to my brand and they really hope I make it. I inspired them to chase their dreams. I actually had a high schooler. He lived in Georgia, I believe, and he had told me that he wanted to, what was it that he wanted to pursue? He wanted to play football, I believe, and be a rapper. He wanted to do football and a rapper. You know, that's two careers that's hard, two career paths that's very hard to chase, and his dad didn't want him to do that. But he told me him seeing my brand made him want to keep on chasing.
So you re-inspired him. That's awesome. You know, I don't think a lot of people realize how important it is for us to pursue our dreams, because like Tyler Perry said, if you guys watched the BET Awards a few years ago, and he talked about how it's important for you to chase your dreams, because your dreams could be tied into somebody else's life.
Right.
You can be giving these people jobs that other companies wouldn't hire them, you know, for whatever reason or another. So it's important that all of us get out here and in pursuit of that happiness, you know, whatever that is for you. It's very important to do that. Us older folks out here.
And a world united where we all live through each other, because I just look at the world as like everything has its cause and reaction. You put out good, good happen. You put out bad, bad happen. It's like we all connected. Like we all on here for experience. You know, like we just...
Absolutely. I get that. You know, I think that when you talk about unity, you can't argue that. And the fact that we are all interconnected on some level, you know, some kind of way. I tell you one thing your granny used to say, which is my mom, bless her soul. She used to say, love was universal. All the signs are the same.
Right.
Music, same thing. It's universal. All the signs are the same. Life, if you're choosing to live it as free as you should, regardless of what's going on around you and all the noise this world makes, if you choose to live it as you should, and the positive light that you can actually attract to your life, you know, with all the choices, the good choices that you make, and even some of the bad ones, there are lessons in it. You'll see just how connected we really are.
We are.
I'm so grateful to have had this time with you, to sit down and talk to you. I feel so blessed to have, you know, that exclusive connection with you. I see you doing some very great things out here, and that's why I invest my time, my attention, and my love into what it is that you're creating, because I believe in you. I see no limitations when I look at you. I see you as someone that is going to look for an avenue until there is no road leading nowhere. Okay? You're going to exhaust all avenues, and you're going to look for the answer. You've always been that type of person. And I learned that early on when you were younger, and you would sit back, because remember, guys, I'm her auntie. And a close auntie, okay? I ain't one of them people that like to run around with a tight child. No, honey, I'm like a second mom over here. So, you know, even when you were younger, you used to sit back and you used to observe. You watched a lot of stuff, you know. That let me know right then and there how much you were willing to learn. You can't learn nothing if you're doing this, you know. But I'm so grateful to have sat here and shared this time with you. Like I said, I believe in you. So with that being said, is there any closing remarks that you want to share with the people?
I'm gonna do some shout outs. I wanna, shout out my mama, number one. Shout out to Naya Nailed It. Shout out to Sparks Worldwide. That's my friend, y'all. He got a clothing brand. He always, he shout me out on his interview. I shout him out, vice versa.
Awesome.
He support me, I support him.
And I will be sure to include those Instagram handles and websites, whatever these people that I may not have heard of have available to you guys, so you can check them out. It's all love over here. We are all united over here. And with that being said, since we had Baby K's clothing up in the building with Tennessee's daughter, hey, I think we're gonna close out this interview, and until the next time, I want you guys to be sure to check out my niece, okay?
Can't stop me, I brought my rap. Can't stop me, I make you feel my rap. Can't stop me, I brought my flow. Can't stop me, better act like it.